Okay, I'm going to preface this with just a few points before I go forward. The first one is that this is all going to be kind of one take with no editing because it is like 2 o'clock in the morning and I've got to be up at like 9. But I've only just now kind of had the balls to record this. Second preface or point is that the views and I suppose sentences I'm about to say in this video are of my experience, and I'm going by what little knowledge I know of the person I'm talking about. I think that's mainly it. Okay, so and refer that because this is from the hip, off the cuff, no editing. It's going to be probably a lot of rambling, but I will try to stay on point. So, so I'm replying to a friend of mine called Giles Hellier. He has a channel on YouTube, and I've been subscribed to him for a good few, I'd say 6 years, 6 years now, something like that. He's gone by a few other handles, but I know him as Giles. Basically, we're not good friends, but that makes it sound bad. I mean, I've got him had it on Facebook. We talked once or twice about random shit. I'm very political on YouTube, but not YouTube, Facebook. See, rambling. But he uploaded a video earlier today on the 20th of February discussing his mental health, and it hits home because I suffer from mental health issues myself, and the stuff he says in it reflects how I felt a good 4 or 5 years ago. Now, the thing is, I've had help in the past 3 years. I've seen doctors. I haven't seen any type of therapist. I don't know why, but I find it helps more to talk to friends than strangers because they know you better. But Giles hasn't really, as far as I'm aware, hasn't seen a doctor regarding his mental health issues, which I want to clear up and say that, Giles, do it. We spoke on Facebook earlier after I saw your video, and I can tell you that they help. Ignore the people who tell you, oh, you don't need meds, you don't need pills to help with your mental illness or all that shit. It's bullshit. In my opinion, in my experience, it's bullshit. You take what help you can get, and with something as I will say deadly as mental health issues, you can't really afford to knock or put down any type of help. Like I said, I've found out basically that I had mental health issues, I'd say about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and at the time I didn't even know. We're looking probably at 7 or 8 years, maybe more, of me going undiagnosed with anxiety and depression. And I mean, I had the same type of shit that you had. I had suicidal thoughts. I didn't act upon them, but they were still there. It's like what I lacked in actions, I made up for in thoughts, if that makes sense. So that's kind of why I got help. It wasn't until I was told I had all this stuff that it made sense. Normally, if you have anxiety and depression, you don't know it. You just think, oh, you're too tired. Oh, it's normal for it to feel this way, but it's not. With depression, you don't have a lot of motivation. You don't know why you're unhappy. You don't know why you're feeling sad for no reason whatsoever. You find yourself blowing up at people, getting angry at them for no reason. And I was like that a lot. I was secluding myself into my room. I had my PlayStation upstairs. I didn't have a job, or if I did have a job, it'd be one of those unsociable ones where you just sit alone for 12 hours a day, or a night in my case, and just watch TV screens. So you don't socialise. The only socialising I've done was probably my girlfriend slash mate, well, my friend, best friend. That's another thing. He mentions how, well, you mentioned how you lost all your friends, and that's what happens. I've not lost, but I've just lost contact with most of my friends that I made in school, and they will probably hear this at some point and just think I'm a fucking idiot. But it's what depression does. It secludes you. It eats away at your mentality. It makes you think you're not good enough for anyone. And that kind of goes the same with anxiety. My mum, funny enough, says that anxiety is fear of what's to happen or what could happen, and that is totally right. But with, unlike depression, you can get through that anxiety. Sometimes I've had bouts of anxiety where I've just given into it because the fear was just too much. Like with depression, you can sort of go about your life. You can push past it. But with anxiety, there's always that fear. There's always that knot in your stomach. There's always that little bit of doubt in the back of your head, thinking, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I do something and fuck up? I mean, it is like both anxiety and depression. They're both deadly. People have killed themselves over it. And I guess the point I'm trying to say is, like, as anxious as you are, you have to do these things. I mean, I've only made 2 videos on YouTube. This one and one I did about some football. And I tell you something, my anxiety gets me on this. I suppose I have a bit of a fear of speaking. I guess I don't know. It's weird. If people see my Facebook, they would think totally different. But speaking vocally, nah, it's a different kind of thing. But back on topic, enough of my rambling. The doctors do help. You have to tell them everything you're feeling, everything that you're doing. Because, they can't help you if you don't tell them what's wrong. Now when I Found out I was depressed and anxious. I found out from my mum. Like I said, next day I was in the doctor's. I was in there 5-10 minutes. Told them exactly what was wrong, what I was thinking, and they gave me tablets. And despite a few hiccups and stressful situations, it worked. So, um, so people who say that meds don't work or any other stupid shit like that, it works. I won't call them liars because sometimes it doesn't work for some people, but for me, um, for my for I guess for me and for my friend, they work. I mean, there's a misconception about treatment or the medicine that you take. It doesn't cure you or it doesn't fix you. It controls the anxiety and depression. Um, you there are times when you will maybe still feel a little bit depressed or you may feel a bit anxious about something, but it won't be as bad or it won't be as heavy. Um, unlike you, Giles, I'm pretty lucky from what I can tell. Um, I still live with family. I have nothing really to worry about. I don't have to worry about debts except for this giant £300 credit card debt I've got from buying too many PlayStation games on this network. But I don't have to worry about rent. I don't have to worry about income. So I'm guess you could say I'm pretty privileged for a 28-year-old white guy. Um, so you um, might take a bit longer for you, but you will end up working. Um, and when I was watching your video and listening to you, just like I said at the beginning, you reflected everything that I felt 6 years ago. And the way you explain is the way I saw myself. It's like um, it's hard to explain, but it's just I just saw a lot of me reflected in you as you were just explaining, and I think that's kind of why it hit home because I see someone who essentially was me, and if I can help them get better or feel better, then I'll do that. Um, there isn't really much more I can really say. I'm just like kind of dragging it on. I've kind of made most of my points now, but you'll find that if or when you're given meds for your anxiety and depression, because I can't remember if you said you have anxiety, but I mean it's like 2 o'clock now, 1:30, so I really need to make this video and get to bed. But a lot of what you described sounds like anxiety as well, on top of depression. And um, the doctors will help. And I know we talked about it on Facebook a lot, like today, but I feel like maybe hearing it vocally from someone rather than just words and text on the screen might give a bit of encouragement. And anyone else who hears this will be encouraged to seek help, because me and you both know that going about your day-to-day life, wanting to die and thinking of ways of killing yourself, That's not the way to go. It's not normal. You shouldn't be going at your daily life wondering if you're good enough or worrying about silly little things, But hopefully it helps you out, man, because I don't want to see anyone turn into something what we could become. We don't want to be another stout on government records. We don't want that. What type of life is that? Well, it wouldn't be a life, would it? But it's like, I mean, I could probably go on for ages about this, about my history, but maybe I would say that for another video, one that's actually more planned out. I know. But hey, you'll get better, man. You'll get better, you'll feel better, and your videos will be 1,000 times better. So just keep that in mind and just think every day that you're worth the effort. And that's all I can say.